Welcome back, awesome action toy fans and subscribers. And looking at this, I guess this says AutoNine but there's actually AutoNine because I look on the side, I can see on the top, AutoNine Robot Build 04 motorcycle core transformable multi-tactical mecha and girl pilot. This is approaching 1/18 scale. She is small, but she's closer to 3.75 than 4 inch. So I don't think other figures will fit in that mech stroke motorcycle that easily, but she will, she's made for it, obviously. Does look good. Am I missing something from there? So there's an empty hole there I can see. Maybe it's moved around, or maybe nothing was there. I will look when I open up. There's something missing. I have to contact the shop and say, look, what's going on here? Does look nice. Ever since I first saw this sort of previewed, I've been very interested in getting this. Just wish that figure was slightly taller. Don't like the joint system on the elbows there, but does look good. Looks very nice. Motorcycle road mode and mech mode. What's that, like a force field or something? Looks pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to unbox to set it up. I'll be back in an instant when it's all ready to look at, so stay tuned. Okay, so here's the pilot and the mecha in, obviously, mech mode. First thing I'll say is there is a ton of accessories. I mean, a ridiculous amount of accessories. I'm not going to have time to go through all of them in this video. I'm not going to have time to go through all the things and you can do and change and options in this video either, because it'll be way too long. But I will show you the contents and instructions. And, you know, it's good, but also a bit disappointing. This is not a sort of take out and play. This is a take out and set up and lots of other things. But this is the contents page. Some nice big guns and some tiny guns for the little rider too. Very, very cool. Now, an interesting thing is you don't articulate her to fit into the bike or the mech. You actually have to take her apart, and then you can put her shoulders into the parts, so her legs into there, head on there. That will clip onto the bike or mech. Oops. And then you've got her in a pre-pose set up position to ride it, which is quite interesting. I can see why that would work better. Now, she does come with some alternate hands. I will show you some accessories which are in here. You can sort of maybe make out. We've got some gripping hands in there. And it looks like some spare joints as well, which is nice. And then she has a couple of little guns herself. This tiny one here, which would be really hard for you. Other 1/18 scale figures holds the handle is so small. Slightly bigger one here, which is nice. Again, be quite difficult for your figures to hold because the handle is quite tiny. It's got a really tight gripping hand. It's another nice one. It's got indented barrel. In fact, did this one have indented or drilled barrel? Can't really see. Yep, as well. But the mech has some really nice guns, and they're really nice because of the colouring. Check this out. That looks so nice. Just that little bit of orange on that sort of energy bar, and the orange there, and then the barrel makes it so much better. And that little sort of silver part there. You've got a bigger one here, but it looks great. And these guns can, generally speaking, be taken apart to various degrees. So just be making note of that, or be warned about that, depending. But that looks great again, almost like a super soaker. And then there's really nice long sort of sniper rifle, which is massive. That's bigger than the actual rider, big as the mech practically. That looks really good. Again, you can take it apart from different places. I think the scope comes off too. Yep, so lots of options there. This is a sort of set that you unbox, you open, and you spend days playing with. Now, one of the bad things about this set is I didn't take a photograph of all the pieces where they were inside the box, so I doubt I'll be able to fit them in the right order when I put them back, because there's so many. This does look really, really good. Now, there are some issues, like you got to swap parts around for different modes, which I don't like. I'd rather just it transform from one to the other, not swapping parts around and adding and detaching things. I'm not a fan of that. But what we will do before I do some more stuff is have a quick look, a close look at the figure and the mech in its current state. I should say the mech also comes with alternate hands. You He's got a hand here for gun, where you can attach the gun to there. He's got 2 of those, and then he's got some other hands. I haven't quite worked out what these ones here are for yet, holding these things. There's got to be something for that, but I have to look at instructions again for that. I'm guessing with this gun that what you would do is take out one piece and then swap in the other, maybe like that. I don't know, I'm just guessing. It does kind of work that way, but maybe the smaller gun works better doing that. Let's have a look. Okay, on the smaller gun that works quite well. That's quite a nice system for the mech, I like that. Anyway, close look. Let's get a close look at the rider first. Excuse me. You can see that she's got some basic articulation. Don't like those joints in the elbows, but she's petite. Does look good. This is magnetic, and so I chose that part there, but basically I could just take that off and put on a different backpack part. I'm assuming it's that way. Could be that way for all I know, but that should be that way, I think. Reminiscent of that helmet we saw in the Acid Rain World figure. I can't remember which one. I'll put a link to the top right, but she's definitely more petite, definitely smaller. Okay, she's quite hard to balance as well, these tiny feet. And the joints aren't super stiff or super loose, so it's not too bad on that aspect. But the small feet do make her hard to balance. And then the mech looks amazing because the plastic work, the colours look great. The sort of clear plastic there looks fantastic. But changing to bike mode is going to be a bit of a pain, I'm sure. Arms look great, sort of thrusters at the back. Looks great. This is definitely a display more, photograph more than play with more type of toy. Okay, I'm going to stop there. What I'm going to do is transform her, stick her on the bike, need to look at instructions. Sorry, stick on the mech. I need to look at the instructions for that, then come back. Once I've done that, I will then transform it to the bike and come back again, and we'll do sort of comparisons and whatnot. In fact, you know what? What I will do first is a size and figure comparison now while she is in this mode here. That makes more sense. Also the size of the mech. So in inches, I'm making her 3.75 maybe, cm about 9.5, but she feels smaller. To the very top of the shoulders of the mech, we're looking at 5 3/4 inches, around nearly 15 centimeters. If I do a quick comparison, I've got my Annex 2179 sort of Android here. I always forget their names. Let's get, not the junkyard version, the other one. Let's get her standing up first. Great figure. Upper body's fantastic articulation. You can see there's quite a vast difference in size. So for me, this would fit in my universe as it is, being so petite and small. This is obviously a teen girl or something, but it would fit in. But small. Okay, so now I'm going to get her transformed and fitted on. I'll be back in an instant. Stay tuned. So here we go, setup. It's a little bit fiddly, but it's not difficult per se. Just a bit fiddly, you know. So if you're getting old, you might want some reading glasses for some steps. And speaking of reading glasses, when I was back in England, I was cleaning up the living room, or rearranging to get some double glazing fitted, and I found my dad's old reading glasses. My dear father passed away like sort of 2017. I tried them on and then I realised I need reading glasses, so that was a find. Getting old. Anyway, yeah, fiddly, but it does look so good. Really, really nice. You can see I've changed her hands around on the mech so it can hold guns, and then you have to change her hands around to fit the hands to the handlebars, and you actually got to take this part off the mech and stick her body part on so she sits nice. Let's get a closer look. Holds really nicely. See the nice pistol, the mech looks fantastic. You see she sits nicely too, as well as you'd expect with a specific body part. to attach things on. So she sits down perfectly well, feet on the little supports, you have to sort of articulate yourself. But she looks really, really quite good, has to be said. Now, I'm the sort of person who won't want to transform between one and the other. So would I buy another one to keep one in one pose, one in the other pose, or three, so I have one of the figures separately, because there's going to be the same again, I think, for riding the bike, that same pose, and you're not going to have any real use for this spare body unless you've got parts that fit for it, you know. It's a shame they didn't provide extra head, arms and legs, you know, or just a separate body for mech and bike mode and for neither mode. But that looks great. You see, I've already pre-posed the mech for semi-walking, and it stands up very, very well. Those nice long feet there. Very, very cool. Okay, now one thing I'm not going to show is the where's it gone? Let me find it. Is it roller skate mode? There's a skate mode somewhere. Yeah, roller mode. Not going to show that, but I will show you the instructions. You can have a look and see. There is roller mode. You can change the feet over and get the wheels there, but that's not really my thing, so I shan't be doing that. Now, one thing they do give you is a green sprue, and from that you can make these remover tools for removing some of the parts in, which is quite nice. They actually give you tools to remove stuff that you put in, which is pretty good, I think, because you get lots of small parts, as you can see here, that you have to attach, and then you can put things into that and so forth. That actually give you a remover tool, or remover tools. Okay, right, I'm going to head back to the instructions and put this into motorbike mode, so stay tuned. Sorry, I forgot to mention you can actually attach these sort of energy shields to the mech mode via the shoulders. We're not done yet, so we'll do it together. Ooh, exciting. Into those little slots there. And you get these nice energy shields on both shoulders, which are articulated too, which will add to these sort of mech features. I really like that. Very nice sort of fit for the Annex 2179, though she is on the smaller side. A teenage rich rebel girl or something, I don't know. Alright, so let me get this done into bike mode and I'll be right back. I know what you're thinking, where's the bike? Don't worry, I have transformed it already, but it's such a hassle to try and make her fit on the bike. I was like, oh my word. I was getting so frustrated, I thought, you know what, I'll use a different figure instead. And so I'll show her like this first in her articulation, then I'll show the Annex 2179 figure on the bike and a couple of features on the bike, and then I'll transform the bike back and do the mech's articulation, which I should have showed you earlier, but I didn't. Never mind. Okay, so let's get a close look at her with the gun. She's got holding both the guns, holds them quite well, and you swap the hands around. It looks pretty good. In terms of her articulation, head's really good, because what you've got this part here with a magnet, and that articulates, and then head itself articulates on top of that, so you get a nice double articulation. Shoulders go all the way around at an angle. You'll get to not even flat, and it'll start to pop out. They should have thought about the angles more on this sculpt. You get a biceps bend, which is over 90, and a biceps swivel. Hands are on a sort of tiny joint, so you get small movement in there. There is a trunk. Forwards, backwards is good. Side to side is amazing, and you can turn. There's no separate waist. Legs don't go far because of the cuts, unfortunately. Forwards is pretty good. Backwards is not bad. Together it makes a pretty good forwards backwards splits. Despite the look, there is a thigh twist, but it's a bit lower down. Also, despite the look, there's a single kneecap, or is it a double? I'm telling you, it's a double kneecap, so very, very tight. But one of my legs, is it this one, is a bit stiff and keeps wanting to pop. There we go, to pop out. But you get very tight on that. And then the feet is on a ball, so you get a turn, you get a small swivel, small, tiny if at all, tippy toe, and dorsiflexation. So it's okay articulation. I mean, it's a nice looking figure, but it's just a bit on the small side. Let me just get her standing up and stick her back over there. We look at the bike with the Annex 2179 figure. But the bike's going to look a bit small because that figure is just a bit big for the bike. I don't want to stand up again. Okay, give me a second here. That should be it. There we go. And then the bike, the anatomy on center figure, it's not bad, just was a bit small with her on. Not made for it, and there's no kickstand that came with it, so sort of lean it over or hold it to show. So the bike is a bit small for this figure, for your regular sort of 4-inch. Zoom out a little bit. But it looks fantastic, and obviously loads of parts from the mech are taken off. There's no arms. You don't have these, whatever these are. The lower leg parts, obviously there's no arms. It's not a real transformation. And the nice thing with the bike, apart from it looks great, there are things that do move, like this part I didn't slot in properly, that's the mech's head. But you can attach like the big, whatever this is, shield, force shield to the bike if you want. Make it very sci-fi. Which way around? I didn't take that one off. Ooh. I've got to take a little cover off here, which I didn't do. Sorry about that. I took the other side off. There we go. And now her foot's come off the pedal. Okay, so I can attach this to the bottom or the top one. Where's the top one here? She's got a nice big force shield. If you want to use the smaller ones I showed earlier, you can attach these smaller ones here. The Mech's guns have attachments which you can use to attach to the bike as well. So now I've got a force shield on one side and I've got this kick-ass gun on the other. So there's a huge amount of features and options with this. Just the issue for me is it's almost too complicated. Or not complicated, almost too convoluted, that's the word. It's almost too convoluted, and I don't like things that transform. You've got to take things out and reattach, or don't have them off, don't have them on and on, because that's not a transformation. That's just like something else. But that is good. I don't know if I prefer the bike. If the bike had a kickstand, I might prefer the bike. Is this a good set? Yes. Would I recommend it? If you like this sort of thing, definitely. If you want a toy, then probably not, because it's so fiddly, so much things to do. If you don't mind fiddly things and taking the time, then yes, I would recommend it. Okay, let's take her off. And it's quite difficult to pose the actual pilot on the bike, which is a shame. If I rest the bike there, it can stand up. But it's a very nice, beautiful looking set. And the bike does feel a bit small, has to be said. Okay, right, I'm going to now attempt to transform the bike back to the mech, and then do the mech's articulation to close out. So stay with me. Okay, transformation back is actually much quicker than changing it into the bike mode. We'll go for articulation. There's lots of things I haven't shown. There's lots of things that aren't shown in instructions. And there's lots of parts that aren't shown being used in instructions. So there's lots of possibilities to do your own things, make your own things, or your own variations of bikes, I guess, or the mech and different loadouts. So that's pretty cool. But not for review, and it takes a long time. Okay, so let's bring this in. Let's look at the articulation. So this part of the bike does actually come out. And so you do get a left, right, up, down, and a sort of side to side as well. On the shoulders, all the way around, maybe, or not. Yep. And you've got a separate shoulder at the top with these sort of thrusters to the arm underneath, and there's a roll on that too, which is quite nice, but has not a huge purpose apart from getting out of the way. So lateral raise, I'm getting over flat. There is a slight shoulder roll as well, which is fantastic. There is a swivel from the shoulder. There is a bicep swivel, and you can get well over 90 degrees with that. You can see hands are on a pin, so they just rotate. That's it. Trunk, you can turn. There's no real forwards and backwards. Legs outwards is going to be a full splits. So taekwondo for the mech team. Forwards and backwards will be a full splits again because there's nothing. I'm telling a lie. Is there nothing to prevent? Oh no, I'm not telling. I'm telling the truth. Nothing to prevent it sculpt-wise from doing that. And I can see that I haven't pushed this one in quite right. There is a small roll from the hip, but no hip turn. Knee, it's a double kneecap. Look at that, super tight. I should point out in the bike mode that there's no free wheeling on the wheels. Then foot, you've got a turn, you've got a swivel, a tippy toe, and a dorsiflexation, and that's pretty much it. And obviously you can change to the roller mode we saw in instructions earlier. So this has got decent articulation. That's just, I don't know. It needs to be slightly bigger to scale better with my 118, or they should have put enough parts for two of the pilot. So you have a freestanding one and one in the one for the mech mode. But honestly, putting that pilot on the bike mode has caused me a headache. I could have done it, but it's taken a bit longer, and I'm like, you know, already spent a long time filming this. But it is a very nice set. Again, slightly convoluted. If you don't want to take a long time setting things up, then this is not for you. If you don't mind a setup, all the parts and all this and the other, and you don't really want to box it back in the box of all the parts, this, that, and the other, then this is for you. But if you want to put things back in boxes where everywhere it goes, this might be a bit of a nightmare because there's so many different compartments and stuff and whatnot, and I didn't take a photograph. But it's a very good set. And I'm just going to close out by putting my a couple of the figures next to it again to get an idea of the scale again. It sort of reminds me of the Hurricane mecha that Joy Toy did a while back. That transformed, but you know, that wasn't really my, I say mecha was a robot, wasn't really my cup of tea. One of the Joy Toy ones I didn't really like so much in comparison to some of the other stuff. Well, she's leaning over strange there. But this is a nice set. I just wish it was more to my liking. You can see how slender she looks compared to the Acid Rain Rod one there. Okay, this is Awesome Action Toys signing out, saying please like, share, subscribe. If you've not done so, check out the Patreon, link on the top right of your screen. If I've not put it there already, all the videos you can see early, exclusive content from time to time, and prize draws from time to time too as well, including one next month, September 2024. Alright, I will see you next video soon. Stay happy and keep collecting. Bye-bye.